Open your ears and lube up your butthole. It's time for the What Do We Call It podcast. Now, here's your host. It's Jmann. Welcome to the What Do We Call It podcast. I'm Jmann.
And I'm number one fan, Tim.
Have you been following what's been going on with director James Gunn?
No.
Well, some right-wing conservative types went digging through his Twitter, and they found some tweets that were several years old where he tried to make some rape jokes and some pedophilia jokes. And they brought them to the forefront, not because they're anti-pedophilia or anti-rape, but because they're anti-James Gunn. And then, because they made such a stink about it, there was uproar. And because of said uproar, Disney, who owns Marvel now, said, yeah, I know that we were going to have you use your script and direct Guardians of the Galaxy 3, like you did with 1 and 2, but you're fired. Over tweets. Over old tweets. And what this has done has been the most shiningest of examples, one of the most high-stakes examples of someone who lost something because of old social media posts.
I really think that social media shouldn't play a role in anything except that one day you post it.
Well, and it's funny you should say that because there was another man. So now, because of what happened to James Gunn, director Rian Johnson, who's been doing Star Wars movies, deleted thousands of old tweets. Thousands! Because he was afraid of what somebody might do to him.
Isn't Twitter only like 2 years old?
No. Twitter is 11 years old.
It's been around 11 years?
Yes.
Holy shit. I
Yeah.
thought I only heard about it like 2-3 years ago.
No, it's because you're old.
No, it's because I don't give a fuck about tweets. Or some of this shit. I only have an Instagram account. Is it Instagram? What is it? Yeah, Instagram account. Because I was trying to win a free airsoft gun. I didn't win.
So why not delete the account?
Because about once every 2 months I'll put a picture or two on it.
Okay. Fair enough.
It's all airsoft related.
So now what we've got are tweets that were taken out of context and used against the person that said them. They were vain attempts at shock humor, which early in his career he worked for Trauma. And shock is pretty much their life's blood. Okay. Really out there shit, as evidenced by...
that shit's really funny, actually.
Right.
It's that humor. It's just like, oh, I shouldn't laugh at this, but goddamn it, I gotta.
Well, as I've said many times, is that laughter is an involuntary response to an unexpected stimuli.
Whether it be positive or negative or something like that.
Yeah, and you're not laughing at the humor there as much as your brain just gets tickled.
Yeah.
But these jokes about pedophilia and pedophilic rape fell flat at the time, and he just left him there. I guess bad on him, but here's the deal. Disney just fired the director of one of their most recent franchises to be one of the most highly successful of what they still have under their umbrella. Imagine
Guardians
if
of the Galaxy is their most successful.
It's one of their most of the Marvel movies. Guardians of the Galaxy has been universally loved. Whereas other comic book movies, people bitch, but because Guardians of the Galaxy has more heart, it's, in my opinion, been more accepted by the whole family.
Okay.
It's a very popular series, and it deserves to be so because it was written well, and it was directed well, and acted well. Everything about it, to me, fires on all cylinders. So they fire this guy over this. So what happens next is he apologizes. And explains, when I was younger, I went for shock. That's just kind of the angle I played. I realize now the folly of my ways then, but I don't believe that rape or pedophilia is okay. These were just jokes. So why is it that you can't make a joke even anymore? People, they took his words, these opponents that dug him up, they weaponized his thoughts to take him down. Once again, that mantra of people in our society just want to fucking destroy people of varying political views.
See, I think if I would have known about the tweets and read them, I wouldn't have thought twice. I was like, whatever. Not funny.
Right, but because we're in that hypersensitive state that we are, where people overreact to everything, Disney felt it had no other recourse but to fire him, lest they be viewed as, getting behind those kinds of jokes in that mindset.
This all falls in with that Papa John's guy.
Well, and also the Roseanne thing.
With him. And Roseanne, yeah. I don't even know if I can discuss it anymore. I'm just so sick of this fucking social justice bullshit and my feelings. I was offended. Go ahead and be offended. Nothing fucking happens. All right? It's not like you're going to wake up the next day and you're going to be like half midget or some shit. I don't fucking know. I just, man. I can't even debate this anymore.
Well, here, let me throw some degunker in your oil here. The director's friends have come to his defense and coworkers saying that James Gunn is a wonderful person. And yes, the jokes were ill-advised, but he's kind, he's caring, he's sensitive and inclusive. So for you to take his job away over this that was brought up by people that were aiming to take him down rather than defend a cause, they find it to be very wrong. And that it went a step further. Virtually the entire cast of the franchise signed a letter to the public addressing it, saying, yes, it was wrong, we don't support that, but he's a good person and we're all behind him, and this franchise wouldn't be what it is without him. It's signed by Chris Pratt, Bradley Cooper, Vin Diesel, Michael Rooker,
he's in the new one?
Zoe Saldana, and Pam, whatever her name is, that played Mantis. Anyway, and Dave Bautista. So the entire cast signed it, supporting him, and they think he should be rehired. Interestingly enough, it has been leaked that he's not officially fired yet. But you said you fired him. Right, so they're trying to negotiate for them to at least use his script to keep the movie on schedule. But more importantly, they want him to direct it because of the outpouring of support for him and the way that he was basically nailed to a cross with his own words that are taken far out of context from many years ago. One more step. Dave Bautista, who plays Drax the Destroyer, said that if you don't use James Gunn's script for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, recast my part, I'm out. Now, when you've got a franchise that made hundreds of millions of dollars, at what point would you say, perhaps we were a bit too hasty? This seems somewhat eerily similar to what happened with ABC and firing Roseanne Barr and canceling the whole series, the rebooted Roseanne, because of something that she tweeted. So now you've got an entire cast that suffers because they were canceled. Crew's out of a job, cast is out of a job. ABC said, perhaps we were hasty, and this is after very heavy public outcry that they screwed these people. Now they're bringing back the cast and the crew, with the exception of Roseanne is not going to be a part of it.
You can't have the Roseanne show without Roseanne.
Well, they're not going to call it Roseanne. They're going to call it the Connors, which is the family name. They're probably going to kill the bitch off is how it's going. I'm thinking that justice will be served in a way where they still use his script and he may still get to direct this movie after a cooling off period. And if that's what's going to happen, well, then we're halfway back to sanity. Because Disney could have said, and they've done this many times, all kinds of companies, the views expressed in the director's reel or the vocal tracks of the commentary do not necessarily reflect the expressed views of the studio therein.
I like how they say necessarily. It leaves room to be like, yeah, we agree with that.
Well, that's the thing is now you could have simply said, we understand that people could be upset about what James tweeted, but this was many years ago, and he has since been a changed man. He apologized and admitted the folly of his ways years ago. I think
that would have been my first reaction.
And he's done so much good for this company, not in terms of just money, but by bringing so many people together. The crew, the fans, the actors. This is a beloved franchise. And frankly, the fact that it's made a ton of money is going to be a deciding factor here. But they could have said, we don't see justice in firing him. While you may feel that that is wrong, we stand behind him because he took responsibility for his actions and was repentant. And that is the way things should be.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But for us to go past the halfway mark, it should have been not fire him. It should have been a statement will be made in a few days when we've had time to reflect on all of the information rather than make a snap judgment that would reflect poorly upon us as a company. Because we want to give this man
decisions like that and regretted it.
Well, that's the thing is, though, you can't rush to judgment in situations such as these.
I had a friend who was accused of abusing her children.
Ooh.
She had a mentally disabled child, and the accusations were that they would lock him in a room, and he was covered in poop, and there's feces smeared on the wall, shit like that. All these accusations made by somebody that knew her and her family. And I read the news article, and I recognized it, and I'm just like, her? No fucking way. No way. I haven't seen her since high school, but Jesus, that just does not sound like her. And her and I actually ended up connecting on, I think at that time it was my page?
Backpage.com.
No, my page.
MySpace. God, you're dating yourself.
Yeah.
My page?
Maybe, no, it was Facebook. It was instant messaging. But I remember talking to her, I was just like, hey, I heard about what happened. What the hell's up with that? And she came back at me really strong, which is who she is. And she's like, you know, this is all bullshit, crap, this, that, and everything like that. And I'm tired of people just judging before they know the facts. That is not true. They're all false accusations. I was like, whoa, slow down. I didn't say I believed them. I was just asking you what's up with that. Because when I read this, I was like, there's no way in hell this is the person I knew. You know? I says, if they're false accusations, you'll get your time in court. Or they'll come, you know, family services will come and look. Says, in the meantime, though, don't count me an enemy, because I'm not. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, we've been friends since, and yeah, everything ended up being completely
unfounded.
It turned out that the person making the accusations was mad at them because she felt that they owed her money.
Wow. What a very constructive way to go about getting your due.
Yeah.
By almost fucking somebody's life up and then, in turn, screwing up their children's childhood.
Yeah, because they have 4 kids. So, and
Jesus
the mentally disabled one is the second youngest. But anyway, so I mean, it's just like, you know, that situation is just like, I before judging and saying, well, smite her, you know, I was just like, whoa. This can't be right, you know? So I just let it all come out, and it was probably about 3 weeks later she announced that it was all settled and done.
Mm-hmm.
Charges dropped, whatever the hell.
So where did you see the story? On the news?
Yeah, it's cause it used to be Comcast.net. That was my homepage.
Yeah. And
I saw it come up as a news flash because they have that little scrolling news screen in the middle. And it said Bloomington couple. I was just like, and I recognized it, you know, I was just like, child abuse. So I was like, kind of looked, and I started reading the print below the headline, and I caught the names. I'm just like, whoa. So I read the whole article.
Which was smart.
Yeah. And I was just like, okay, well, and then, like I said, we met up, I think it was like a day later or two. She friended me on Facebook, and that's when I asked her about it. Almost right away.
Well, see, here's the danger in just rushing to judgment like that, because I'm willing to bet the news did not print a retraction or an update afterwards.
I don't know if it did. I don't recall seeing one. I remember her announcing it, though.
Why wouldn't the news want to print that somebody who was accused of something falsely was innocent, restoring them to restoring their reputation to good standing in the public eye?
It's the same thing Rush Limbaugh used to always say. The drive-by media. They come in, they shoot out a bunch of news articles, they shoot out a bunch of headlines. Oh, unfounded? Okay, we're just going to keep on driving.
Fuckers.
The media's bullshit.
Yeah,
it's absolute fucking bullshit.
They owe it to people.
Well, they're not journalists anymore. They're warriors, you know. They think they're going to change the fucking world by interjecting their personal views into the news. Problem is, it's not news views. At that point.
They all read scripts. Didn't you see that video where 142 stations all read the same exact fucking script the exact same way, almost verbatim, when they played all the videos on top of each other?
Yeah, I haven't. Rush Limbaugh, I haven't listened to him so long, but he used to, every other day, have a 30-second clip of all the news outlets, the big ones, all pretty much the same fucking script at the top of their news hour. And I just laughed. It's just like not one of them like
Sinclair
we heard
Broadcasting
this
is
or
the
whatever.
guilty party this time.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, and why this is dangerous, because I myself am a bit of an auteur. I like to entertain, and sometimes I say things, not for shock value, but because I see dark humor in it.
Yes, you do.
And these days, there's a segment of the population that wants to try to almost ban that dark humor. Like not letting people joke about disgusting things as a coping mechanism even, because how could you even laugh at that? I'm not laughing because I think it's funny. I'm laughing because of how fucked up it is. And this is just the way that I go about dealing with it, because the world is so dangerous and disgusting that I can't be like, oh my God, for the trillionth time, because that doesn't benefit me at all. But there's people that would find out that I have 4 little girls, and some of the things that I like to read about or laugh at or joke about, or the fact that there's probably people that be like, you like Doug Stanhope and Louis C.K.? He shouldn't be allowed to have his children. I want my kids taken away. Just because they want to punish me for liking people that they don't like or find disgusting or abhorrent in what they joke about or alleged personal behavior. And they're just like, well, we need to ruin his life because that somehow improves things in the world in general, not completely taking into account the collateral damage of uprooting 4 children from an otherwise stable home just because, oh no, Doug Stanhope jokes about abortion and I laugh at it. Fucking move along.
Mind
Move
your
along.
own fucking business.
Well, I was at a family get-together with my extended family on my wife's side, and I swore, and there were children in the room. And I was told by one of her relatives that they really detest swearing in front of children.
Good for you.
And I wanted to be like, you should fucking meet their mom then. Because if you think me saying shit in front of some little kids is terrible, then let me give you a glimpse into the window of chicanery that goes on in her house. All the fucked up ideas. That her boyfriend's got a fucking Adolf Hitler painting that his brother did while in prison.
What?
It's in the room with the furnace. Don't worry. It's not like hanging
Fucking
up next
still.
to the He also owns a copy of Mein Kampf, whatever. He doesn't like the... He doesn't,
I had one.
a copy of Mein Kampf?
It was a gift from a buddy. I haven't seen it since like...
You don't really need to
2 or 3
rationalize
years
it because Mein Kampf is a historical work of art.
Well, it is.
Now,
but it was all written in
contains
German. I couldn't read
disgusting. It contains disgusting ideas, but frankly, if you want to understand how to not repeat the past, you should probably review the
need to
past
learn the
to
past,
avoid
yeah.
it. Right. So,
Well, I just say it was in German. I couldn't read it. That's why I just like I don't even know. I disappeared a few weeks after I got it.
see, I was just sitting there frustrated that only every 15th word said Juden, so I only knew what he was talking about every 14 words. But my point being is that this wave of character assassination that's become so commonplace these days, where people will just, oh, you did something wrong? Fuck it, don't need you, cut away the fat. I swear, if it wasn't for overpopulation, there wouldn't be this many people that would feel like we're all so disposable because there's not that next man up mentality.
Yeah.
But also, social media is just poison. Like, if Facebook and fucking Twitter and Instagram disappeared tomorrow,
I wouldn't be that upset about it.
I wouldn't care. I mean, I wouldn't be able to promote my shows as easily. They'd still be out there.
I wouldn't know what anybody's birthday is.
That a lot of people would feel that way. But honestly, like, we'd all be better off. And had Twitter not been there for James Gunn to make those jokes years ago and for him to leave them there for somebody who really had to have a lot of fucking time to go back that far.
Yeah, if you're going back 7, 8, 9, 10 years looking for tweets that somebody said because you have a personal vendetta against them, your life is sad and pathetic.
Well, that's the thing. They're just trying to take people down. They're not defending a cause.
No, they're not. They're just, like I said, it's just because you hate them. I mean, okay.
It's because he's a
don't
left-leaning...
like Hugh Jackman. That doesn't mean I'm going to try to destroy him. It just means I probably won't watch his movies.
These are tweets from 2008 and 2011.
That's a long time ago.
That some right-winger conservative went and dug the fuck up just to throw in his face and say, oh my God, how dare you.
Yeah, which...
Well, see, this is the thing, is that people like to make jokes because they're fans of comedy, and they try to emulate that because they think that it will work for them, and sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. You don't become a comedian overnight.
No.
But, if you go off my mom's mindset, back in the day I was in a band, but because we didn't have any songs on the radio, I wasn't really in a band. It didn't matter.
You're in a band as long as you're getting together and playing.
Right. But, because I've never done stand-up comedy on a stage, does that mean that I'm technically not a comedian at all? I'm an entertainer.
I mean, if you get up and you're telling jokes at any time, hey, he's a real comedian.
It's a matter of platform, and I used to tell a lot of jokes at the jail. I was very light and airy about it.
See, I think you said it right there. It's a platform. It's not a job. It's a platform. It's something that you do. I'm a comedian. I like to make people laugh.
But if I try stand-up comedy, I only do like 5 or 6 attempts, and it never amounts to shit. Or I'm trying repeatedly, and I'm not getting anywhere with it because I'm not very good. Does that make me any less of a comedian?
No.
It just doesn't make me a successful comedian. So, just because he's left-leaning and he makes these jokes, does that mean that he encourages pedophilia?
No.
No, it doesn't. So they shouldn't have fucking fired his ass. The whole thing just stinks to high hole heaven, and I hope that they give him his fucking job back.
I hope he gets it back, because like I said, I did enjoy the movies too.
They're
I don't
great.
like the second one as much, but...
Well, the point being is that the Guardians of the Galaxy wouldn't be as enjoyable without James Gunn's involvement. And I do like the high-stakes game of chicken that Dave Bautista's playing with. Use his script or recast me. That, my friend, takes balls. Interact with the show on Twitter at What Do We Call It? That is at What Do We Call It? You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/What Do We Call It podcast show. For the What Do We Call It podcast, I'm Jmann.
And I'm number one fan, Tim.
And that's the end.